Okay, so this is just a quick tour of my template. So this is what it looks like when it opens up. I'll get to these side windows in a minute. Okay, so in the tracks window, I have my instruments grouped by section. So here are the woodwinds. These are all VSL woodwinds except for here. These are Albion woodwinds. And here is the woodwind instance in Vienna Ensemble Pro. And this is pretty much the way you have to set up VSL instruments because they're a little bit different. All right. So brass, I've got them set up a little bit differently. Let's take a look at horn too. So I have legatos, I have sustains, then shorts. I do have marcatos here. Then I have separate articulations in other MIDI channels. That's the way I set up Berlin. And here's an example. So Berlin Brass has 6 microphone outputs. All of these are controlled via remote. In this case, it's Touch OSC and one of my keyboards. I can turn these on and off. So all these controls here, on and off, solo, mute, pan, volume, and all of these controls here too are all controlled remotely, and they go out through these outputs. Each mic has its own output, and that's true of every channel. And then here are the outputs right here. All right, and so those go out. They're over here, of course. And before I show you the routing, these are all Berlin, and then here's some Cinebrass, and then here's Albion. Okay, so those are all routed, as are the woodwinds and everything else I'm showing you, to the returns. And so here's the Berlin Brass returns, and here they are. So every Berlin Brass instrument comes to these 6 returns right here. Then the returns go to the section buses. The reverbs are fed from the section bus sends, and that all ends up in the master with the final reverb. I can talk about these later. Okay, so, and then these are all the sections. So there's the timpanis. Here's some pianos and harps. Here are the choirs. So I have them separated, and I often have information about the range of the instrument, or maybe some CC information in the name of the track, or so these are the key switches for all the high woodwinds. But those are controlled remotely as well. Everything you see in here is controlled remotely. Here are the 0 measure CCs that I showed you. And let's see, let me drag one. Here you go. Here's a clipping window with CC settings for different libraries in different situations. And I have about, there's another one. I have about 10 or 15 of those windows, those little clipping windows, for different things. For instance, I have one with some altered scales that I use, just MIDI notes. I have drum rudiments and another. Anyway, that gives you the idea. Okay, so there's the brass, it's the harp and piano, choir. All this is controlled remotely again. And each one of these has the same mic out. All right, so here is my slave computer. Right now there's a bug in the Mac OS that's causing the display not to display in 1920 by 1080, although I can change it. I just didn't for this video. So this window is a little bit smaller. So anyway, so I have my strings like this. These are the same. They have all of them have their own outputs. Okay, that's consistent across the template. And these are all key switched remotely. Then I have solo instruments. Currently these are loaded via MIDI channel, although I'm going to update these to go back to using the Spitfire UACC. So there you go. There's some Berlin strings and then Albion strings. So I have the track selector on for every window. So whatever track is selected is what shows up here in the edit window. Same for the mixing board. Here are the instances. All right. Then over in the side window, I keep the track inspector as my main side window with the MIDI monitor so I can see what's controlling what and the event list. And I also use the effect performance. Okay, then up top I have markers, track groups, and chunks. Hope that gives you sort of an insight into my routing process. You may have some questions, but basically it's as efficient as can be with this many instruments. Okay,